town is poor.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself, and somewhere nearby you hear a bell ringing.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn, and I without my compass. The ship is in the locker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows, and all are drowned but me. And yet, can you hear? The bell rings on. The bell haunts me yet, and it would drive me mad. I'm haunted by my crew. They ring the bell to drive me mad. Please, make it stop.
She buries her head in her hands and cries.
Make it stop.
It's a shame, it is.
An absolute shame.
Alexander, slaughtered like a supper lamb. Poor dear.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this. I hope they round up them sorcerers for good. I ain't needing one sick in the void working on me.
You said it, Hilka. You're a true patriot.
Yeah? What do you want? Huh. I want another beer and a bowl of stew. Which of us is more likely to get what they want, do you think? Guess that makes me a sinner. Perhaps you can help us settle an argument. Thatcher here is one of my dearest friends, but she isn't the brightest.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards, and Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
They look at you expectantly. Thatcher bursts out laughing. Eden goes bright red.
Get lost before I throw you in a cell for disrespecting a magister. 2 magisters. The magisters.
Thatcher doesn't look disrespected. Thatcher looks amused.
Disrespecting one magister's enough. Go on. Get lost.
She turns back to her drink. She tips you a wink, then turns away. Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
There's bad things in the caves. Bad dwarf things.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
Blood and oil do mix, after all.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
The island is ruined and doesn't have a name. Don't go there.
His eyes open, but he doesn't see you.
There's no graveyard on the island. Stay away from the graveyard.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
Sawdust and wolves, mother. Sawdust and wolves.
His eyes open, but he doesn't see you.
Arcs for Lucian's Day sounds nice, mother.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
Leave me alone, mother.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
It's mine. Get off.
He goes back to sleep. The chest won't open.
Speak the word, and I shall open. Speak the word, the magic word, and I shall open. No, 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 still no. Do not profane. Speak the word, and I shall open. No. I did not understand. Do you want a buffalo? Is your buffalo unwell? This seems likely. I am already closed. I am a chest. Yes, you could. An excellent choice.
Here now. When one's in a small town, one must expect small town manners, I see. Have you a reason for barging into my room, sir? Ah, so it's dear Prudence who's responsible for our confusion. Odd. She's usually as strict as a taxman. Still, no harm done, I suppose. I may as well introduce myself. Baron Levere, at your service. Of course they are, as good bodyguards should be. I'm a wealthy man, and wealthy men need protection, especially if they accompany their wealth. The merchant's burden, you see. He must escort his merchandise, always. Travels, you say? And why would you assume I'm a traveling man?
He laughs heartily.
Of all things, I wouldn't have thought my cloak would give me away, but you're quite right, of course. I am traveling, yes, to Arx. Lucian's Day will be upon us soon, a celebration no man with a heart that is both as pious and mercantile as mine should miss. I go because it is every citizen's duty, our communal obligation to chant the rites of the return and pray for Lucian's divine resurrection. That said, I do have more secular motivations as well. Arx positively overflows with pilgrims during the festival, pilgrims and their purses. As a merchant, it is quite my favorite day of the year.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look, and when she speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to... water my flowers?
She purses her lips, tuts. Tut, tut, tut.
Not so fast, hotshot. These things take time. If you're not in the mood for games, would you like me to dance for you? Or would you like to hear a poem? All right, darling. I'll dance.
She closes her eyes. She's motionless for a moment, as if listening for music that only she can hear. And then, almost imperceptibly at first, her hips begin to sway. As she finds the rhythm of the song that only she can hear, but as she sways and moves with elegance and grace, at once beguiling and raw with pure emotion. And you realize you hear the music too. An old ballad from the Empire. It pulls at the heartstrings every time. It floods your body with light, at once boiling hot and freezing cold. And then you feel her hands upon you, and you move together, entwined in spirit and in flesh, as one. Moving to the rhythm of your heart's desire, two beings for a moment become one. In your ecstasy, you feel the edge of the bed against your leg, and suddenly you're falling, both of you laughing together as the mattress receives you both. And you realize that you're naked, and so is she. She searches your face for the lie, doesn't find it. The compliment touches her. She smiles, reaches for you. She takes you into her arms, into her heart, into her very being, and it feels like home. Like you're back in the Empire, sunning yourself under the jacaranda trees. Your world explodes in pleasure. You wake into what still seems to be a dream. The scent of home, the perfume you've always associated with her, the woman you've dreamt of since birth. You blink, and there she really is. Not the person you thought you went to bed with, but she, the Red Princess. Despite a sense of deep belonging, despite the rapture of your bodies so very close together, you dread the possibility even this might be nothing but a mirage. Her only reply is a smile as radiant as 1,000 suns. Her lips part as if to speak, but the words that reach you seem to echo from a celestial distance.
Come find me. Come be with me.
Next, a flash of magic, and she's gone.
Yes, I will find you. I will be with you.
He gives you his mischievous grin.
I did promise you the experience of a lifetime. Red skin. Are you sure you didn't do anything funny with a wig and a mirror? I know no red-skinned lizard, but your honoured self. Good day to you. Good day to you.
What's this? The cook acknowledges you with a small bow, an oddly formal gesture given the surroundings.
Please, sir, you should not be back here. It's not safe. Sharp knives, boiling liquids, short tempers. Don't underestimate the dangers here. Now, please, I must insist. Cinnamon, not nutmeg. There's a food shortage in these parts. Fresh meat can be hard to come by. Liberal seasoning helps disguise all sorts of sins. Now, please, I must return to my work. Higbert told you that? He's a fugitive, supposedly a sorcerer too. He'd say anything to save his own hide. I killed no one.
The cook doesn't respond. You notice that she has one hand behind her back when she hadn't before. The cook shakes her head with a sigh.
You've a very active imagination, stranger. Very active. No, you sweet fool. You couldn't. The things you're insinuating about me require proof, and it seems as though you have none. So don't you pit your word against mine. You'll only lose. Now get out of my kitchen.
Hey, this news! Fresh from the War Owl! Hear all about it! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy? 7 savers. Stabbed in the back he was by them vile, low-born, treacherous seekers. Kill 'em all, I say. Do 'em like Magister Raymond did old Lady Seaver. That'll teach them traitors. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the divine is dead. Gone. Who'll save us now? Ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is, the divine order's gonna hit the ancient empire and hit it hard. You remember what happened to the elves, don't you? Ain't no one left standing when you treat them to death fog. Jolly Justinia, queen of the dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of the sword, no sir. Had them all hung. Real slow like. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no queen.
Up ahead, Paladins, the famous divine protectors of Arks. I wonder what they're doing here, so far from home.
Halt, traveller, if you please. Who goes there? Ha! If you're looking for adventure, east's the way to go. It's a void-woken hellhole over there, sorcerer at work. Powerful one. Of course, you could wait for the Magisters to sort them out. You'll be waiting. I dare say you have, adventurer. But I suspect you've seen nothing like what lies beyond, except maybe in your nightmares. Every time the Voidwoken come, they're bigger and there's more of them. Still, you want to go east, you go east. We won't stop you.
Heading east? If I were you, I wouldn't. You look tough, but you ain't tough enough. East'll be your funeral. The rolling pastures of Paradise Downs ain't paradisical no more.
You've hit a nerve. He looks away.
Ain't none of your business why I'm still here.
He can't look you in the eye.
I left my girl out there, alright? Sally and me got split up, and I said we'd meet up here. And I ain't going back out there looking for her. You can judge me all you want. I ain't ashamed.
He nods, but the shame pricks him. Yet He still can't look you in the eye.
You ain't seen it out there. You'll find your own limits quick enough.
He turns away.
I shall not mourn till war is done.
A weary paladin strips equipment from the bodies of the dead, singing softly to himself. He looks you up and down, then nods a greeting.
Oh, pity you just arrived. We could have used adventurers like you in that last fight. We're short-handed, deserters, if you can believe that. Abandoned their post and wandered off into the wastelands. Left their friends here to die. It's shameful. We think alike, you and I. See the captain, adventurer. He'll put some work your way.
A senior paladin sits hunched over a tattered map. He registers your presence, sits back in his chair, taps his fingers on the map.
Who are you, and who sent you?
He appraises you with a look, then grimly grins.
I think I've heard about you. Didn't you free the Meister from the gallows in Driftwood? Then I may well have a job for you, if you're interested.
He taps a finger on the map on the table.
Here, in the Black Pits, are White Magisters. Their operation is shrouded in mystery, and this pricks our ears. We are gravely concerned. We believe the White Magisters may have strayed into the darkness. We suspect that Dallas herself and her master Vriedemann are the inspiration for these dark endeavors. Look under the white veil of secrecy and report back. How much do you want? I have fewer paladins to pay, so I have ready gold. But there are limits.
He breaks into laughter.
Done! And cheap at the price, too.
He offers you an item. A whistle-like device sits nestled in your hand.
When you're ready, send a war owl. Be careful out there. It's a dangerous place these days. And I'd like to think I'll hear from you again. And, adventurer...
He looks you in the eye.
Don't get caught.
By Lucian's sword, we meet again. Would that circumstances were better here than in Fort Joy. But they're not. Voidwoken lie in wait beyond the bridge.
Four deer stand in formation near a crumbling altar. Three stags, fawn-coloured and hearty, gaze cloudy-eyed at a great black skeleton glowing an eerie green. The three fawn-coloured stags shake their antlers. The clouds clear from their eyes.
Go no further. We are at ritual. Do not disturb us. Enter then. Keep respect.
Blood to blood, earth to earth, wood to wood.
Three battle-weary elven warriors make ritual over the body of a fallen comrade. They're chanting low and fierce, the pain of their losses manifest in every word.
Blood to earth, to wood, to birth. The blood of Sarius to this earth.
The tallest, strongest elf, whom you take to be the leader, acknowledges your presence with the tiniest tilt of her head, then turns back to the task in hand. She places the tip of a long-bladed spear on poor dead Sarius's chest-bone.
Blood to earth.
Her companions reach out and grasp the spear, ready to plunge it into Sarius's heart.
Blood to earth.
Together you plunge the blade deep into Sarius's heart, then twist it 3 times, as is the custom. Blood flows freely to the ground, and Sarius's heart lies neatly cut in 4.
Blood to blood.
Each warrior plucks a piece of heart and places it in their mouth. Chewing solemnly, their leader looks to you to see what you will do. Saria's memories flood you. A warrior proud and true, you fight the lone wolves at the sawmill for Sahala, your scion, and for the future of all the elves, or all that still remain. But the fight goes ill. You and Tova draw fire that your friends may flee. You die in Tova's arms. With the barest blink, Tova accepts your good wishes, then turns back to the corpse.
Sarius is a warrior, proud and true. Blood to blood, earth to earth, wood to wood, birth to birth. Sarius becomes his tree. May Sarius take root.
The elves pick Sarius's bloody corpse from the ground. Tova looks to you, then indicates for you to help. Together you send Sarius to his final resting place. His corpse rolls to a stop at the bottom of the pit. The elven leader stands and stares at her fallen comrade. Then she wipes away a tear and turns away.
I see you. We are in ritual for our comrade Sarius, dead at the hand of a lone wolf. Sarius is a warrior, good and true, but he is not yet lost. May his tree take root and grow. This is no well of souls. It is but a hastily dug pit. We stand ritual in this moment more in hope than faith. I fear the future if our trees do not take root. Our lands fell beneath the mists of death, and many trees are lost. Without our trees, we too, we elves, are lost.
I see you. Worry not. The wound tells the eye a lie. In truth, the pain is not so bad. The lone wolf in the mill, who cuts me so, has luck upon his side. For now, not so our own dear Sarius. We have our reasons, and they are good, but they are not for me to tell. Tova leads us, and leads us well, from the moment the mists of death descend, right to this moment here. We fight the war for the divine. Our warriors stand by Lucian's side to keep our people safe, the living and the dead, from warrior to tree. But we reaped Lucian's reward. The mists came down, and all our lands are dead.
The tall elf stares into the pit with dry, bloodshot eyes, her face betraying no emotion.
We lose too much. We lose our homes, we lose our safety, we lose each other.
She looks into your eyes, her face set in a fierce frown.
It is enough. No more. I do not doubt it. The void is too close. It pulls us all toward it. If we do not hold fast, we disappear inside it. You honor us during the ritual. You honor Sarius. You help remember him. You help bury him. But we need help still, or we perish here. Not only these people here, but all of us. I wonder if you honor us once more. It is something of great importance to me and to my people. Our home forests are gone. The great trees are cut to pieces. The memories inside them nearly lost. They become nothingness unless we find our scion. She is...
Her voice catches in her throat.
She is my daughter. Her name is Sahala, and she is taken from us. That is why we come here. That is why we lose Sarius, to find her. If she is lost, if our scion is lost, all our people are lost. She is everything.
Her eyes narrow, her fists clench, and her mouth tightens to a thin line.
Do you know the lone wolves? Yes, savage is just right. They care for gold, not life. Sahala is taken to Fort Joy, and the wolves steal her from there. But she is strong. She is calm. She sees so much, too much for one so young. We come here to get her back, to bring her home. She is everything to me. She is everything to us. You do. You speak to her. Then you understand. You see what a gentle soul she is. You see how kind. She is not only a scion, but a precious child. She cannot be lost. You honor us. I fear it is impossible for one of my kind to enter their base. They know we are here. They expect us. She is taken by their leader, a savage man named Roost Anlon. I do not know why, but I know she must return to me. If I lose her, I cannot lose her. We plan another assault. We cannot give up. It is better for us all to die than for Sahala to be lost. I only hope perhaps you find her before then. Good luck.
I see you, and I fear you not. Injured I may be, do not take me for vulnerable. I fight, I do not win, and I do not die. It is this way from the moment we left our homeland, from the moment the mists of death descend. We fight for our lives as we fight all our lives. We fight the black ring on the side of the divine, but Lucian betrays us. Lucian sends us to our deaths. And so we fight and fight again, and fight until the moment where we find our home once more. There is no reason good enough that we the elves must die. Lucian betrays, all the world betrays, and so we fight.
We may take them...
The dead here stir. I hear their whispers.
Look who's come to join the party. Oh, but you do get around, don't you?
He takes a satisfied sniff and rubs his hands together. His lips stretch into a mischievous smirk.
When it comes to graveyards, I'm a kid in a candy shop. All sorts of goodies and gewgaws for the taking. And a bit of rousing conversation. If you know where to dig, that is. Ah, it's a quandary, you see. I'm not exactly welcome in the Stone Garden. The servants that tend the graves, well, their master, this Ryker fellow, caught me nosing around, so he had them chase me off. The spirits within are particularly feisty as well. Can't say why. I'm as gentle as can be. Alas, I'm stuck sniffing out herbs and fungi on the outskirts.
He presses a forefinger against his chin and hums.
This is when having access to a god-woken might come in handy. You see, beyond the gates, there's something that my heart, such as it is set on. Well, that's the gold-plated question it is. I dare say you'll enjoy this story. Somewhere in this graveyard lies an object of tremendous power. Or so the legends say, anyway. Belonged to a family buried near here. The Surreys. I've been reading up on them. An ancient clan of eccentrics and oddballs. Fascinating people, truly. Old Joanna was the last. The poor, poor dear. Had no money, no children. Just this incredible heirloom passed down to her through the generations. Problem is, no one knows what this object is. Only that it's an astounding piece of work. Seems Joanna took its secrets to her grave. Rather literally.
His coy grin freezes.
Hours spent on scholarship are never hours wasted.
Tarquin sighs, and his lips unfreeze. For a moment, he looks almost modest.
It pains me to say, but you've talents in the adventuring department that I do not. This heirloom could prove valuable for both of us. I've told you everything you need to... everything I know. What it is doesn't matter. What it does, well, if I am right, it will clean up quite an unholy mess. A mess we're both currently mired in.
He looks toward the graveyard.
Let's make this easy. I'll assume you've accepted my mission. You'll assume I give it in good faith. Beautiful. The Surrey tomb must be somewhere nearby. And whatever that object is in there, I bet it's impressive. I do wish I could wander inside. It would be nice to look up some old friends. See if they're in good spirits. Lovely day. Perfect weather for it.
As you reach to push open the heavy door, the coils and whirls of engraved wood dance into a new pattern. The semblance of a face arises, a face that seems to look right through you.
Why are you here? Tell me, and mind that you tell me true.
Silence greets your answer. In the distance, you hear the screech of an eagle. Worryingly closer, you hear some kind of a moan. Time passes. At last, the lips on the door creak open, and the door speaks.
Enter.
The face melts back into the wood of the door, and the whirls swirl back into a floral pattern. A loud metallic click can be heard from deep within.
Like I found Ryker's place. He's hoping for a warm welcome.
The servant grumbles.
A visitor? Such a rare and exquisite pleasure.
The elf tilts his head backwards, but his squinted eyes don't stray from yours.
Call me Ryker. Please, do avail yourself of my creature comforts. You've surely come a long way.
He grins and waves his hand dismissively.
Nothing to be concerned with, I assure you. Mere husks. I enjoy living grandly. I know these aren't ordinary servants, but I prefer the extraordinary. There is no pleasure in mediocrity. Don't you agree, Godwoken? Don't be so naive. My doors only open on the occasion of truth. What you admit to them, you admit to me. I also see you are not yet whole.
He presses a slender forefinger against his tight lips and hums.
I'm not a generous man, but I could give you what you seek if you offer something in return. A completely fair exchange between sorcerers. You are cautious. An admirable quality. I too have difficulty with trust. However, my requirements are very simple. You go to the Black Pits, to a cavern there. In it, you'll find a stone tablet of considerable value.
He points to the location on your map.
Bring it to me.
Dizziness. It lasts just a moment, but long enough for you to feel Ralik's presence. You hear no words, yet understand. It's imperative you accept Ryker's bargain. The episode passes. Ryker is peering at you intently. He awaits your reply.
I would think that obvious, my good fellow. You're dying to show off those smouldering talents of yours. You just don't know how to handle them. I can help you with that. I can share my bond with the source with you, fill your well to the brim, make you a master. The rest of the story, well, it's yours to write. Oh, but heading to the Black Pits would mean tangling with more magisters, and they're such a nuisance. I like keeping my hands clean, you see. It's a miracle of the ancients. Priceless, really, and powerful enough to draw the magisters' attentions. I won't bore you with further detail. Suffice it to say, it is safer in my hands than in theirs.
Ryker's lips stretch and his cheeks bulge, but you couldn't rightly call his unusual grimace a smile.
I'm a man of taste, as you no doubt see. A relic this significant would make an incredible addition to my collection. Don't deny an old elf his simple pleasures. A promise you'd best fulfill.
Ryker bows his head deeply.
Then you'll have the power you seek, if not the power that trumps it. There will always be one greater, you know. Now please, don't let me keep you. Tarquin. Ah, that must be the fellow I found snooping in unwanted places. There are some types, deceitful types, that don't deserve to be among a place of such treasure. He doesn't appreciate what the dead can do for us, my friend.
He turns the back of his hand towards you and waves it back and forth, nudging you away.
Do be sure to see yourself out. These tomes demand my attention. Truly beautiful poetry on that page.
The lizard hums tunelessly, not a melody exactly, but more of a meandering moan.
10 spans under, humans slept. 10 spans up, the dwarves were kept. Lizards burned in lasting flame. Elven trees toward skies did aim. Keeping watch, tending graves.
She ekes out a few more notes, then smiles at you with the innocence of a newborn.
It helps me remember where the dead go. Sometimes they don't stay where I put them. That's okay.
She flinches as you move closer.
No, no touching.
Her humming fades. The eerie silence lasts for several seconds.
Ryker might get mad. He doesn't like it when someone touches his things.
She shivers and whispers.
Powerful sorcerer. Lives here, right in the garden. He can take the you from you. No brain, just body.
She points at her head.
The servants, they got nothing up there. Ryker has it all now.
The ensuing silence lasts for several seconds, until she picks up the melody once again and turns away.
An ancestor tree. Pure grace in an undeserving world. The spirit of the tree may have much to say.
The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep underground to the surface above and beyond. But this tree feels tainted. You are a scion of the elves. The mother tree demands your blood. You do not have a choice. She has a plan, and you must serve her with your death. You heed your mother's wishes and take root. But then you hear a voice, a friendly whisper from beyond. The voice knows you. He understands you. He loves you. He offers you your freedom and asks but one small service in return. Grateful, you accept. In an instant, you are an elf once more, walking in the world. But your new friend begins to make demands. Small services, then larger and more often. They cause you pain. At last, he bids you guard your tree. He expects you shall have guests. You shall kill the Godwoken when they come. Then you shall be free. The thought occurs. The scion replaced one bad deal with another.
No such thing as luck. Only self-earned success.
Or as in this case, self-earned failure.
Everyone's in charge of their own fate. Sounds to me like this incent has down the drain.
Desperation leads to stupidity, among the stupid anyway.
The dog growls and bares its teeth at you in a wide, unsettling grin. You swear you see a worm emerge from its grey-pink gums, then burrow back in. Slobber drips from the dog. The dog raises its head to the stormy sky and howls. The earth beneath you vibrates.
I'll yield to none.
At first, you might think the figure is a simple stone statue, but it bears no chisel marks, no uneven surfaces, no signs of polishing. This is a petrification victim. The petrified woman cannot speak, but her eyes glow with the fury of the sun.
Well, isn't this rich? Cursed by a coffin and rescued by a dwarfling. The indignity.
She huffs in annoyance and rolls her eyes.
Oh, all this trouble, and for nothing. Never figured I'd need frost armor. You want me to spoil the story before you see how it ends? I'd never be so rude.
She purses her lips and coyly tilts her head.
Oh, but do forgive me. I haven't offered you proper thanks.
She bows in insincere reverence. Her arm rests on her back, hand mere inches from her staff. She rises from her bow, her face frozen in fear, you presume? It isn't long, however, before she shakes her expression away and takes a defensive stance.
Oh, your type is so predictable. Spot a problem and you grab a blade and get to stabbing.
A jolt of cursed fire flares from her staff.
Anathema will be mine.
Anathema. Above. Look at all these bones. I've spotted something. Still sounds stuck. Must be more to it. What's this? I found something. Ah, success.
It won't budge. How inconvenient. It won't budge. How inconvenient.
It's shut tight.
It won't budge. How inconvenient.
What did that do? Guess what? Hear that? Did something.
Shame. All this wealth's just been going to waste.
Unlike so many other spirits, this one is hardly silent. She clicks and squawks the moment you approach her, like a cornered crow facing down a hungry owl.
Are you the new servant, then? A pity. Seems the standard is plummeting quickly. You brought my tea, have you? Oh, honey, I didn't hire you for your entertainment value. I hired you to draw my bath and rub my calluses.
She raises her leg and pokes her foot towards you.
As you see, they need a lot of work. That old thing, it was passed to me by my father, Johannius. And my father's father, Johannius. And my father's 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 father, Johannius. Don't know what happened to the one in the middle. Don't rightfully know what it's supposed to do. Johannius, the umpteens, brought it back from Blood Moon Island. I thought it might be good for stirring stew, but the cook gave it back. Said it made her feel funny. Whatever that...
The spirit stands there smiling, as if she hadn't just uttered the words of demons. Luckily, you understood them. Anathema seeks blood.
What just happened? You mean my display of proper posture and etiquette? The benefits of charm school, I don't expect you'd qualify. Hurry back. The eyebrows still need plucking.
Won't budge.
You feel the unusual object's vast energy before your hand even touches its smooth surface. Upon contact, the semi-transparent artifact shivers and speaks. You know this language. It is an archaic tongue, spoken only by demons for untold eons.
When as one, I am slayer of sin and the bane of the living. Restore my twin, make me whole. In archive of old the blade resides, an isle of blood where demons abide.
The object speaks once more, and you consider your fortune in understanding its demonic monologue.
I'm demon true, taken to Isle of Vaults, exorcised from host most dear. The priest, Surrey by name, confined my soul to blade of glass and bone, then split in twain when madness boiled his blood. Anathema, I'm called, but only halves before you. In archives rest the blade. The path is marked. Now on to Isle embark.
The heirloom is silent once more. The object repeats its cryptic remarks. The oblong object is crystal clear and unmarked by marks or chips. It rests snugly in your palm, as if meant to be gripped with a resolute hand.
What the hell?
This thing speaks to me. But what is it trying to say?
Sounds like a demon with a swollen tongue. I wonder if what's inside is as pleasant as a demon with a swollen tongue.
Doesn't make any sense. I don't want to find out if that's a warning or an invitation.
Sounds like any other plea for mercy to me. Utter nonsense.
Ah, you again. Any luck in old Lady Surrey's tomb?
He places his hand on the artifact, and it drones in the demonic tongue. When, as one, I am slayer of sin and the bane of the living, restore my twin, make me whole. The object continues. In archive of old the blade resides, an isle of blood where demons abide.
It's true, then. Anathema. Within reach. Tell me, is this all there was? There weren't any other curios in there? Ah, I just remembered why I prefer to work alone.
He breathes a long, lugubrious sigh.
It's time I leveled with you. This is the hand grip of the fabled anathema. A sword capable of annihilating anyone. Even a divine. Imagine it. Holding in your hand a force that could wipe away sun and shadow. A sword of life and death. Miracle and sin. A sword of atonement. I can restore anathema to working condition, but this is only half of it. We still need the blade. How fortunate that the hilt has already told us where to find it. Blood Moon Island. Oh my. The purveyor of truth is slinging morals left and right like she's already been named divine. Or practically handing the hammer a sure victory over Rivellon.
Tarquin's eyes reach for the skies in a vivid show of annoyance.
I won't be the one to make you regret it should you never wield anathema. But regret it you certainly will.
Here rests the lizard hero Vidia. She served Lucian the Divine with great dignity and vanquished the strange beasts that arose from the primordial caverns of Reaper's Coast. The implements of her heroism shall rest at the site of her victory. Here rests the dwarven hero Bromley. She served Lucian the Divine with honor and cast out the demons that plagued the great woodlands. The implements of her heroism shall rest at the site of her victory. Here rests the human hero Garrick. He served Lucian the Divine with immense skill and slew the necromancers who preyed upon the dead of Stone Garden Cemetery. The implements of his heroism shall rest at the site of his victory. Here rests the elven hero Halla. He served Lucian the Divine with great vigor and defended the farmers who feed Reaper's Coast against pitiless bandits. The implements of his heroism shall rest at the site of his victory. Suddenly, the earth churns and buckles upwards in several places. Some things are trying to rise to the surface.
Taste steel, Godwoken!
graves shall be yours now, God-woken. Your end!
Warning is mine!
Into the dark with you!
What's this covenant?
The heroes of Driftwood lie at your feet, dead for good this time.
Most foreboding. When did heroes turn villains? And what is this covenant?
I wonder what prize was sweet enough to make him into this.
They were corrupted somehow. If it could happen to them, it could happen to us. We should be cautious.
And who are you? Oh, never mind, no time. Hurry on in and gear up. There's a Voidwoken right out the front door. Barin? He's still out there? Damn it, I told him to go back into town. We gotta do this fast. Let's get those bugs out of here. You in?
She snorts and tosses a grenade from palm to palm with ease.
I could turn an anthill into a crater from a quarter of a mile off. With both of us geared to the teeth, we'll make short work of these beasties. You ready or not? I'm retired Divine Order, you know. I ain't scared of a fight. You step out that door, I'm coming after you. You'll be glad I do. You can hang your hat on that. I got all the fixings here for every kind of bomb, grenade, missile and shell you can imagine. Make what you want and then let's go! I got a boy to get back to. Ready, set, squash!
Mari flashes a massive horsey smile at you, then winces, clutching her side.
By the seven, that was something. What'd I tell you? Nice scratch on me. None that last, at least. Glad my little guy got to see it. I might have done the same to you, by the by. You certainly know your way round a fight. You sound like a paladin. Very righteous, isn't that right? Well, good for you, I reckon. Didn't catch your name, though. I'm Mari. Pleasure's mine. You all right? Dunno about you, but I never was afraid of bugs. Then again, if you hadn't rolled in when you did, I might be whistling Teedle-dee in a Voidwoken's belly by now. I owe you one. A bug squasher, are you? Impressive. Hate to cut this short, but I ought to dash off. My boy's waiting for me. Mind lowering the bridge, though? I find myself slightly indisposed for the moment. She'll be all right. And how's my little spider monkey doing? Safe and sound?
Spider monkey? You mean dragon?
Come here, you.
Mother and son fall into a tight embrace. One tear rolls down Mari's nose, falls on the black stubble on Barin's head. She strokes the wet drop away, smiling. Mari seems oblivious to you. Her eyes are closed, her lips turned in a serene smile as she strokes Barin's head.
My boy, my good boy.
Hey, wait, one sec. Ma, look. Ma, this is my friend. Friend, this is Ma. Ma made it back, see? She's here. Thank the gods.
Thank the gods. Oh, thank the mum. And our friend here too. I know a good arm when I see one. I'll tell my cousin Raymond what you did. He's real high up in the order, and he's visiting Driftwood as we speak. Could be he has some good work for you. Don't I know? They're a jumpy lot these days. Voidwoken have got all us sleeping with our weapons in hand. Can't fault them for wanting to protect us. Raymond's a good sort. You'll see.
I don't like him. He's mean.
Oh, from the mouth of babes. Well, you don't have to be nice to be a good sort. You'll see. I'll tell him what you did here. He'll be grateful. Reckon there's space for us in the Magister's barracks. Raymond ought not to turn down his own cousin. Some dwarves, locals, attacked a Magister caravan. Must have been sorcerers inside. Voidwoken must have sensed them. Came in formation like a proper battalion. Never seen anything like it.
Mari looks to Barin and flexes. He does the same back at her.
Luck wishes. We're off into town. Best of luck to you, mate. And come say hi if you make your way inside.
Impressive work getting past our defences. Now turn around and see if you have the same luck going the other way. That's so. Well, she's busy at the moment. And as it turns out, so are you.
I'll yield none.
Huh.